Good afternoon, guys. So
Hi.
looks like we are actually on for the next show. Today, looks like actually time flies. It's already halfway there to our
Oh no.
SMVFF 2020, right?
Yeah.
My name is actually HK, and together with me is actually Billy.
Hi.
The other way.
Oh, the other way.
So
Sorry.
yeah, exactly. So we have Billy, and both of us will be actually a host to actually host Artgerm, better
And Derrick.
well currently being Stanley Lau. Well, I'm actually having stage fright. But anyway,
Right.
we'll be actually having them online, and here they are.
Right.
Hey,
Welcome.
hello everyone.
Hey,
Hi.
Hello.
hi.
Hello
So
everyone.
thank
Hi.
you guys. Yeah.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I don't have the special effect stuff, but next time. But yeah, welcome. Thank you for spending time with us. This is our
Right.
third show, and this is one that actually many is actually looking forward to join and have a look. And yeah, just a very quick introduction. Actually, I don't think that we even need introduction towards of both of you. We have Artgerm. Do you like to being called Artgerm or Stanley?
Yeah, call me whatever you like. You call me Artgerm, call me Fatgerm, whatever. It doesn't matter.
We'll call you Artgerm.
Okay.
Artgerm as well as Derrick.
Yeah,
Both of
hello,
them.
hi.
I think most
Hi.
of you will instantly recognize their work. It always has been. You can actually see their work on the social media or even published artwork, published work and so forth. So yeah, thank you guys for coming in. And first thing into the order, Artgerm as well as Derrick will be actually open for accepting commission. I will very soon post it into the link. Please rush for it. I'm sure it's actually quite
strictly for Singaporean and Malaysians. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot to actually mention about that. So anything that is actually not Singaporean or Malaysian, I'm sorry, we can't actually fulfill your request, and you just move on from the list. Then yeah. So anything from you guys that you want to actually set the expectation? What are we actually looking for?
Yeah, first of all, I will say hi to everyone who joined us for the event. Thank you for SCC and MICC to include us. I mean, I'm glad you still
It's a
remember
pleasure.
us.
I think that when you guys actually said that you want to come in, I'm so pumped. I was so happy about it.
Yeah, it's been a challenging time, but we try to stay afloat and do our best for ourselves and for our loved one and for the art community. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of online events these days. So this is one of them, which I'm happy to do something for Singapore and Malaysia.
Yeah, thank you for that on behalf of all Malaysian and Singaporean. So okay, I'll get the commission up very soon, and Billy just dropped off. I think starstruck, so she just went offline for a while.
Sorry about that.
And she's back. So I'll just get it in, and it's in. So how you guys actually get yourself into the commission is very simple. Just click on the URL, answer the question, put in the characters that you want, and that's it. And do know that there are there are limited slots. Artgerm is actually opening 6 slots for quick sketch and 2 slots for color sketch, while Derrick is actually just opening 3 slots for his sketches. So yeah, go ahead, and we can actually just proceed with how we usually talk about start off the show. I think the show is really a result of the pandemic. I mean, if without the pandemic, I don't think that you guys will be actually around to be at home so that we can actually talk to you from home. You guys will probably be flying around attending cons right now. I think right now is actually a con season. So how has the pandemic, I mean, considering that all of us has been here, I guess that we survived most of the journey already. So how's things for you guys? Are you guys still keeping yourself busy? Do you have any noticeable slowdown in terms of the project and so forth?
Well, I answer first.
Yeah.
I think for last year, 2019, I've been working really hard. I churned out tons of covers on top of other projects. So I kind of like burned myself out a little bit. So at the end of 2019, I decided to take a slower year for 2020, and the pandemic happened to appear, and that somehow work in my favor, so that I can actually slow myself down, focus on my personal growth in art, trying something, just try to draw something that I personally enjoy. That's why recently you see a lot more anime, old school stuff, something that I don't really have chance to draw when I'm fully busy working for commercial projects. So it's actually okay. It takes a while to get used to. My school teaching has gone pretty much online already, with my student via Zoom meeting, and something that I need to adjust. But I think all in all, it's still going well. The only thing I really miss is to hang out with my friends physically, especially people like Derrick. We work in the same studio. Now I don't see him every day. I feel some sense of loss,
Romance.
the romance,
I do remember that you did a virtual con somewhere during earlier of the pandemic, where you guys every one of you were sitting in the studio.
Yeah, no, it can't happen anymore.
It can't happen.
Sadly, I mean, those were good times. Yeah.
So how about you, Derrick? Like, how's the pandemic affecting you?
I think pretty much what Stan said, is kind of same for me. I mean, 2019, I think, is one of the most like special year for me, because I've been lucky enough to actually like travel around with Stan now, to go for events around the world, and it's really fun, but it's also quite tiring in the sense because of the traveling time and the jet lag and stuff like that. So but and then the pandemic happened, and it's like totally cut off everything. So it's kind of it's like a total suddenly there's this like emptiness that I felt like I can't even see my friends, I can't even go to the studio to work. Everything has to happen from home and home, well, it's a good place, but it's also a very distracting place for work. So it's like the bed is just there, and then you get distracted.
I think the bed will be calling you that, hey, don't move so hard, can always lie down for another 30 minutes.
And I've got the fridge more of a distraction for me. So
true. I mean, you tend to go like a little bit out of control, because like no one's there to actually tell you, and like this time the government is actually telling you to social distance. So it's kind of weird, in the sense where we as humans, we are supposed to be like more like social people, right? I mean, social, but it's like now we are like supposed to be the opposite of what we are. So I think it's kind of weird in a way. Yeah.
I mean, we still find time to do a Google Hangout every day. So we still gather together and draw. I think that's the best compromise we can have now.
I think that I think the new buzzword, or at least the word that has always been used right now, is the new norm. So it's no longer the normal life that we'll be living in. Like I almost use the analogy of comparison against like the travel right now will be similar to what happened during the 9/11. Because previously it's so easy for you to actually get on a plane right now, but right now, because of this, you probably need to think twice of traveling or getting into new crowd. So Stan, could you actually just a quick one, just check your private chat. It seems like there are already this commission coming in. There are
fast, okay.
And it seems like it's already been filled, by the way. Anyone that actually wish to actually get a Stan, unless he rejected some of them, it seems like it's already been taken.
Okay, those are quick sketches. Color sketch as well. Sonja, Psylocke.
And meanwhile, we've got lots of hellos from friends as well. All of them. We've got Myron, we've got Steve, Marco, hey. And thanks for tuning into SMVFF2020. So we've together here with Derrick and together with Artgerm. And so if I think, like, as you were saying about for the commission slots, is it still open or is it closed already?
Closed.
Closed. It's all closed, guys.
Yeah, correct. Looks like somebody did not actually make it to Stan's list, but there is a list for Derrick, a grand pool. I'll just put it into the private chat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
So you can actually
Thank
get
you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for the support, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what's next for us? Are you guys going to draw?
I mean, we can answer some question first. If there anyone here would like to ask any question at all, don't be shy. We are comfortable answering all kind of questions. The most we can say is that we don't know, right? So, ask anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I see some comments. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go through the comments itself. Meantime, probably just is there any project that you guys can actually share with us that maybe some ongoing projects that has been announced? I've seen a cover from Derrick, but I've not seen any cover post the a punchline cover coming from you for Batman 92. Was it 92? Yeah.
That's a punchline cover.
There's a punchline cover, right? The one that you did for.
The one I did. Yes, that's right.
Yes, the first punchline cover.
Yeah, it's quite a delay. You should have pushed out quite much earlier, but I think because of the situations. Yeah. Yeah. So currently, I'm working on a few covers. I don't take a lot these days. But I'm still carrying on my third book of death metal cover.
Okay.
That is something I'll say anyway.
Will you be finishing it? Will you be doing the whole series so that your fans can actually have a full collection of the series plus your cover?
Yeah, I mean, DC wanted me to do it, but I say I only can commit to 3. So this will be my last one. The last one will be a Supergirl. Yeah.
Also you're going back to Supergirl.
No, a Supergirl cover for death metal.
Oh, okay.
And then on top of that, I'm also working on a Wonder Woman cover for the movie.
Yeah.
And some that I don't think I can say much, but I think it's Batman related.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Batman, Catwoman.
Some a character that I don't draw very often, so that's good. Besides that, I also work on a lot of statue designs now, together with Connecticut as Lim Hing, as mentioned on Facebook. Something that I always wanted to do. I've been doing a lot of statue for Sideshow Collectibles for the superhero side of things. So now with Connecticut, I get to work on more Asian or gaming side of things, which is much closer to my taste. So I'll be working with them on a lot of fighting characters, mainly females, of course. But that's something that I'm very excited about. I just can't wait to share with you all. I mean, we spend days just to refine them, to make them rock and as best as possible. We hope that the statues that we created will be the definitive statue of that particular character. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Sounds like very ambitious, but it wouldn't be surprising coming from you.
Yep.
And Derrick?
Sorry, what's the question again?
What are you working on, bro? What are you working on?
Yeah. What kind of project has been working on during the pandemic?
I think still the same. I'm doing comic covers for. I think I'm working on some DC covers, but it's still not like announced or released yet, the details. So so I don't think I can say much about that. But also I would probably be doing more Batman related stuff also.
We actually seen one of the latest cover that I've actually shared in my my comics community. One of the Joker Warzone. Warzone cover with Clown Hunter on the cover itself. It seems like that's supposed to be his first full appearance, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
But usually, when you actually accept a project, do you like get to read the interior, or you're just being told what to write in terms of draw? Because I know that cover B usually that doesn't need to actually have a coincide with the interior. So
correct. I think for me, it's like I just want to how to say. I think when a project comes to me, I'll just if I can based on a schedule, I will definitely take it and I think it's always interesting to like work on different characters and different things, to keep it fresh for yourself, and I like variety, so I like working on like different kind of aspects of like theme, like horror theme or what. So I like to play around with that, so that I won't get like stuck in doing something like the same
I
thing.
guess that people that have been following you will be seeing some of these. This is actually definitely something very new. And maybe this that has a collaboration of Artgerm doing some calligraphy, Chinese calligraphy.
Yeah, correct.
I would just
Yeah.
I would just bring a busybody and try to write something.
No. Hey, look, because of your calligraphy, right? This whole thing stands out like Macam official like that. But because I was like so struggling with the fonts and stuff, I was doing this, doing that, and then he, Stanley just happened to say, "Hey, no, I help you write out." Then I was like, "Hey." Oh, yeah, I feel a bit pressure because I feel like I don't want to trouble him, but he was kind enough to actually provide the calligraphy. So I was like ecstatic when I saw it.
I mean, this particular piece that you actually share on Facebook, right, make me realize that there are still something that Stan is actually beholding from us. The Chinese graph, the Chinese graphy stuff is, well, at least I have not seen it before. So it's actually something that I
I'm
realized.
so used to seeing illustrations.
His brush strokes, Stan's brush strokes, very, very controlled, very flowy, and very nice. It's something that I always enjoyed and admire from afar because my Chinese is not good.
Closer to Chinese New Year, we probably can commission Artgerm to do some.
Yeah, but I was trained in Chinese calligraphy. I think we, being a person born in Hong Kong, I mean, when we're young, we need to learn how to write Chinese calligraphy as part of our education. And so I become quite comfortable with the brush, the Chinese brush. And then now when you look at my commissions, I also use a lot of Chinese ink brush for my work. So that somehow also help out in that sense because of my earlier training in calligraphy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that for me, I got trained in a Chinese school, but because I'm a left-hander, I use that excuse not to learn Chinese.
Oh, I see. Okay. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah, there are a lot of questions right there.
Yes. Let's go to the questions. Let's go one by one. I think one is just an invitation from Boon Cat to Derrick. Let's go to eat durian. Yeah, it's durian season right now.
Durians. I miss it, man. It's like,
come on.
No.
Not for Stan.
I'm not doing that. Yeah. In the past, in my studio, when my guys want to eat durian, the only place that can eat durian is in the toilet. That's where it belongs. So I will not let them eat anywhere else.
I'm pretty sure fans would beg to differ for that one. Right, we've got another question over coming from Hugh. Will you both be doing interior comic artwork?
Yeah, I think DC and Marvel asked me quite a few times whether I'm interested to take on some interiors, some short stories. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the patience or the commitment to tell a story. I mean, I can't imagine myself keep drawing the same character over again. So I turned that down, and I told them that instead of drawing the interior, I just help you sell your books by drawing some kick-ass covers. So that's what I wanted to do. I mean, I really admire comic artists who can commit issue after issue for extent of half a year to a month, not to half a year to a year. That's something that I can't. I need to keep myself fresh, so I like to try different things every now and then.
Right,
and some people will actually say that interior artists are actually it's a thankless job because you actually spend the whole 24 pages to tell a story, but if it's actually it doesn't hit. But when the covers really sense to people, then you can really have it as your talking point for your next project.
Right,
and Derrick, how about Derrick? Any plan, or you're sharing the same sentiment?
I think pretty much the same sentiments as Stan. Because like I mean, comic work is really something very different from like illustrations. And there's a lot of planning involved and a lot of like the paneling part and like designing how you do the shots and stuff, and it's really, that's why I respect to really interior comic artists. I think it's not an easy task, and to keep up like month after month, doing like the story and trying to make sense of all the dialogue and stuff. It's really tiring. I think it's I can't take it. I think I'm more of like a illustration kind of person where I just like to paint a scenario, But if you ask me to do like 24 pages a month, I think I will go crazy. It's too stressful, man.
Yeah, because there's also up and down in telling comics that you need some quieter scene to set up for a very kick-ass splash screen and so forth. Yeah.
True.
So moving on to taking some more additional questions. What's your favorite character, and do you have a picture of it?
What's my favorite what?
Character.
My
I
favorite.
presume that Boomkit, is that a question for a character of each of the individual artists drawing, or just any character?
Let's have a look on that one.
Yeah, I think my favorite character for comic side is actually Supergirl and Catwoman, and Wonder Woman. For the gaming side is Chun-Li from Street Fighter, and Morrigan from Street Fighter, and Cammy as well. Yeah, for manga and anime, well, I have a lot, but my favorite manga all time, I say that many times, is Fist of North Star. Yeah, it's a very old school stuff. I hope that one day I can do something official for them. That would be amazing.
Yeah, let's wait for it to actually come. I mean, it becomes popular, right? If it actually becomes popular, who knows?
Right. And
so
for
which one do you like? Do you like all the characters, or those that is actually 2-story high? I mean, Fifth of North Star always have one. The villain is actually 2-story high with a normal standing guy.
Yeah, that's funny. But I think that the reason why I like Fist of North Star is the bromance, the brotherhood in the story. That is very motivating. I also use that as a way for me to learn anatomy in the past, because back then there wasn't like school or YouTube or internet at all in my days. So I have to learn anatomy by looking at books I can borrow from library, and sometimes from manga that I read. So I thought that the muscle definition or the rendering in Fist of North Star at least look closer to reality. So that's something that I used to learn, to transit myself out of those like traditional big eye anime girl into someone that's more realistic.
Yeah.
Right.
And Derrick, yourself?
For me, I think for comic wise, I like Batman Who Laughs. I mean, the design of it. I also like Harley Quinn. I think it's one of my favorite characters to draw.
Okay.
How about any Marvel's character that you like?
Like Marvel, like pretty much the Avengers. I like it, and I like Ghost Rider. I think Ghost Rider is one of my favorite because of the skull face, flaming skull, like that.
Also the flames that you get to draw.
The weird thing is, like, last time when there's like when I was a kid, right, I saw this Ghost Rider comic, and then because I don't really read comics, but I remember like seeing a panel or something of his face melting where his skull turned on fire or something, and then that kind of traumatized me for a bit as a kid. But when I grew up, I kind of like the idea though.
It's actually close to horror in a lot of time.
Yeah. So I wasn't expecting that when I was.
Hopefully not a reflection of yourself as an artist right now, like burning all the way.
Hopefully not. But for games wise, I think I also like Street Fighter a lot. I like my favorite character from Street Fighter 3 is actually this wrestler dude, Hugo.
Yes.
Like, the big guy with the curly hair. That's one of my favorite characters. And of course, Cammy. I love her design. Yeah, I think it's, and Chun-Li as well. I think these are all classic characters that I really like.
Favorites, yeah.
Yeah. Well. Then for manga wise, I don't. I like to like look at visuals. I'm actually not like a very reading kind of person, but I think I like One Piece. I actually read that halfway.
Not half a day.
This one is quite long, but I was really captivated by the story for the first half of the arc. And the characters really stood out for me, and the backstory of it. We really, I mean, for once, I actually really I cried while I read the manga, which is
you did? You cried?
Yeah, like the Chopper story arc, like all those the key story arc for some of the characters are really very touching, and I think the art although it looks a little bit like more cartoony kind of style, right? But I think it works. I really like how everything is drawn. Yeah, so it's
And
one of my.
I mean, if you actually look at the One Piece art, it's actually very dynamic. It comes from different angles.
Yeah.
So I mean, that actually helps in terms of actually keeping story moving with a very huge energy.
Yeah. And I always like dynamic artworks. There's like another manga artist that I actually really like, but he's not really he's quite low key low profile It's for this manga called Mitsuyoshi Soul Vision. But it's not very well known. But the artworks are really super dynamic and always it's like one of those things where after a while when I feel like I'm getting stale, I'll just flip his manga to see again and see what I can learn from there. Yeah, but it's a little bit not safe for work. I mean, it's a little bit more adult oriented but it's not in the sense of those, but more like fighting and stuff like that. Yeah.
And
I think
more violent.
talk about dynamic. I think ISU21 is also excellent.
Yes.
I
should. Yeah.
It's amazing.
ISU21.
Yeah, I think
that guy later did One Punch Man. Also.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it. I think One Punch Man also has a superhero influence, because if you actually look at it, everyone has superpower. It's almost like an X-Men, but it's actually put into Japan with the Japanese culture. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Let's move on. So we've got Anna.
You have another question?
Yeah. So I think who are your biggest artistic influences from within comics?
Now my disclaimer is that I don't read American comics. I read manga, but I don't really read American comics. It's just something that I still can't get into it. I mean, it'd be strange to say that, but I mean, since I draw so many comic covers, but I would say that in terms of artists, comic artists, I think Adam Hughes, which you guys talked to this morning, he's amazing. Someone I really look up to. Yeah, I think that's him. Of course, James Jean. I like James Jean's work.
James Jean. But he has elevated himself out of comics and do fine art.
Yes, correct. But
is that your direction as well?
I don't know. Maybe a bit of that. I don't think I can be as committed as him in that regard. But yeah, that was some of my comic influence.
I mean, it's actually amazing to actually see James Jean just did some Fables cover and then just disappeared and become a fine art artist. So he actually showed that comics is actually not just for kids. It's actually just a platform for you guys to actually. I mean, same goes for Neil Gaiman, right? Neil Gaiman did Sandman, and then he got so famous that he writes so many other novels. Yeah. Anyway,
and Derrick.
Within the comics, I think same as that disclaimer. I also don't really read comics, but there was a point of time where I was actually collecting some comics, and that was I think 10 years ago or something, or 10 or 12 years ago. So the ones that really stood out and actually inspired me to draw, because I look at all forms of art and I try to learn from them. So I for me it's like whatever artwork that's nice, I will try to break it down and see how I can improve from there. But the ones that really stood out for me is Battle Chasers from Joe Matt. I think that was one of the.
Finish it.
Yeah, it wasn't finished unfortunately, but my friend Derrick Chew actually intro this comic to me. So when I saw it, I was blown away, because it was a mix of East and West. It's kind of manga-ish, but it's not. It's and I love the dynamic poses and the hands, and the expressions that he draws.
And hands and
and it was really expressive, and the angles that he chose and the poses were always really solid, and that's something I really like about his work. So him, I also like Jim Lee, Travis Charest. I think he's one of really one of those detail freaks. When I see his artwork, it's I'm always blown away by how much details he whacked into the cover or the artwork, and of course Adam Hughes. I think Adam Hughes is also for aesthetic wise, and how he paints his cover and how he renders them. I think I really like how the feeling of the ladies that he draw. He has this really nice lighting setup. I really like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Right. Awesome. So there you go. We hope that answered your question, Baritan.
We actually have Anna Cho. I believe that Anna Cho is also an artist.
Right?
Yeah,
Hello,
we hang out together in US. Shows.
Okay.
Mm.
So I just realized that she's also in here. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Right. So next question up from fans. We'll just take a couple more before they do their demo. Right, from Bradley Tan. To Artgerm and Derrick, every superhero has an origin story. What's your origin story?
Do you mean story that we created or my story?
I
what
think
you talking about?
more on how you break into the industry. Is that by chance or?
Yeah. Firstly, I'm not a superhero, so I may not have an origin story. No, I do. I think that many years ago, I had a friend from the US. He knows an editor in DC Comics, so he introduced that's Dave Elliott actually. So he introduced me to the editors in DC Comics, and he loved it. So we started working together. So that's how I first got into the comic industry, knowing very little about comics actually. Then with that, we've been working on many things. We work on some weird covers like the Great 10, some the Web, Super Young Team. Those are not so exciting characters.
But you do have this, the Fallout Toy Works.
Yeah, there's something slightly different. This is a collaboration with the band For Our Boy. That's what. Yeah. But I think my big break came in when I did the Batgirl cover run. And then people start to take notice of my work, and then with that, then it translates into Birds of Prey, and so on and so forth. But Marvel is something that I only got into it very recently. I think maybe 2 years ago. Mostly I was working with DC covers, then got into Marvel finally, and then we start working together for many covers after that. That was my origin in the comic world. Yeah. Before that, I did we as a studio we did a lot of game related artworks. So many people don't even know about that part of us. They don't even know that we came from the game illustration world. So they only know me by my comic works.
I think some of your fans did know that you did some Blizzard work as well. So, and Derrick?
For me, it's like I used to do a lot of games. Actually, I'm more like a game illustrator for many years until like recently, right? Was it 2018 or something? I think Stan helped, like, because I'd be traveling with him for events to help him out. And then, like, I think along the way he introduced me to some people, and then somehow, everything kind of clicked, and then it fall into place. So the first cover that I actually did was it Flash?
Yeah,
61, right? I think 60 or 61, I can't remember. Yeah, so that was like kind of my introduction for first kind of official comic artwork lah. So before that was actually doing Red Sonja. I think Red Sonja 21. That was my like first release cover. I think. Yeah. So from then on, kind of everything just click into place, and then I actually consider myself really fortunate, to have like someone like Stan to actually help me out, art wise, and also like in other areas. So yeah.
I think it's very interesting. Yeah, I thought it's very
mean,
interesting for us coming from the gaming illustration perspective and entering into the comic industry, so that we can bring something slightly different from what the traditional comic artist is offering. So, and then coming from Asia, it will even bring something new into the mix, because we look at things from more Oriental aesthetics. So when you interpret the Western characters, it has a more international look, in the sense that it appeals to both the West audience and the audience from the East. I thought that's something that we really enjoy.
I mean, if in case anyone is actually curious, this is actually the cover. that
Yeah.
Derrick into. And I
Okay.
believe that this actually a retailer variant, I believe, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm just happy lah. That somehow I managed to get to this lah. Because it's been, to me, I think it's been really a journey lah so far. I mean, it's rewarding in the sense that, I mean, last time when we were doing games, it's more like a, more quiet. I mean, Stan, you should know lah, more quiet. In the sense that people don't really know what you're doing. Because it's like, but comics is different. I think people, you go to events and people actually come up to you and say like, hey, you know what, great work on this, and I appreciate those comments because like it makes me feel like working harder to do better covers, in future lah.
Right. So would you say that, I mean, like, I work with a lot of young artists. I mean, I have like, a lot of them are planning to go into comic industry. Some of them want to be mangakas. And then a lot of the times that most of the concerns is that, is there even a future of breaking into the comic scene as a young mangaka or comic artist? So, I mean, like, what is your view or opinion of the current industry itself, the comic industry itself? Is there actually really a future? Because a lot of the times when they graduate from art school, they would go over to like, okay, you end up being a graphic designer, or you end up becoming like some sort of concept artist, because it's so hard just to get into the comics itself. But for you guys, with your experience, what is your opinion for it?
I think I will look at manga and American comic quite differently. Both are equally hard, but in the past even harder. I think if for the manga side, if you read comic books like Bakuman, you know how tough it is to really get into the comic industry, the manga industry. And then when it comes to the American comics, the almost the only times that you can really showcase your work to the editors or to the publishers is at events. You go for portfolio reviews, and then you showcase your stuff. So it's still quite a long journey, especially for people who are not from the US. Getting into the comic industry is even harder. But now the landscape has changed, especially with the internet and the and the communication that we can have online. Many times we can do self-publishings. In the past, I see people publish on their blogs when they want to draw comics, or they go on platforms like Webtoon. Now you can actually create comics very easily without the printing cost actually, and to test the audience and see whether your work is well received enough. So it's actually easier. I mean, of course, eventually the competition is higher at the same time. But I would say that getting yourself out there, getting your work seen by people has become much easier now.
It's easy and hard at the same time, because it's easy to get it out, but it's harder because there's a lot of people that's doing it. So at the end of the day, it's what makes you unique, what makes you really stand out as an artist. I mean, what about you, Derrick? What is your opinion in regards to the whole comic industry of now?
I think pretty much what Stan already covered what I would think also. But I feel like the good thing about now is like because they are more open as well. Like I think last time because I'm not really sure about how last time things work, but it's like maybe last time you had to send in your actual drawings and let people see, and then you get selected and stuff. But probably now it's like everything's online and open. So like whatever you do. Whatever you post out online, there's a potential for people to actually see your work out there, and I think that's a good thing. That's one of the positive sides of internet, I guess. And that being said, like now it's like no more like writing letters or sending in stuff. It's more like email, and then you send an attachment with your stuff, and you can actually build your own like art page or Instagram or Facebook, and actually have that audience that actually look at your work. And I think that kind of helped with everything as well. So but having said that, like the competition is also very high. So I think the feeling is like sometimes when you see other people's work, you say, oh shit, this guy he does so awesome. Then you feel a bit like demotivated. So I think that kind of hits you as well, and I get it all the time. So I need to always constantly remind myself that just focus and try to do it do something, and work on it, improve yourself. I think that mentality is important. I mean, to always have the need to be better with whatever you do. Yeah.
I think
And
competition has.
sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. By the way, thanks Lim Peng for liking my Robin cover. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I
sorry.
want to write on that. Like, competition has always been high, to be honest. Not just in the art industry, actually in almost all walk of life. You talk about cooking, restaurant.
Yeah.
Is there any chef that will say that, oh, there's too many restaurants, I'm not going to open my own restaurant? No, you still do it because you think you have something to offer. Same thing for singing, music. Oh, there are too many bands and singers out there. I'm not going to sing anymore. No, right? Because you always think that there's something unique you can offer to the industry. And that's exactly what I see art is. It's not really about who draws better, who render better, who has more details and stuff. Eventually, it's what is the unique selling point that you can offer to the industry.
Correct.
Some people take food, for example. I like to talk about food because Asian like food, right? I mean, some people like to open a fast food chain like McDonald's. Some people like to open a high-class restaurant and get some Michelin stars. Some people just want to make some pastries around the corner of the neighborhood just to serve the neighborhood. And they feel happy about it. So I think art, we can see art in this way, that you can offer different things at different scale to the audience. And some people will appreciate that as well. I think the industry is big enough to include all expression of art.
Right. Awesome. Done. All right. I think that basically sums up like a lot of the times that, everyone's, working with young artists, they're all thinking about, what's the fastest way, what's the quickest way of getting success. And at the end of the day, it's just being consistent, being having perseverance to actually go through with all the competition and everything like that. So that's sage advice. That's great advice. Thank you from both of you. Right. So we've got, we can still take in questions, Hancock?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
Before we actually move on, just to actually just do a very quick update. There's one more slot for Derrick that yet to be taken. So 2 slots out of 3 has been taken for Derrick, and Artgerm, you're all done. I've actually removed Artgerm options from the form as well.
Thank you.
All right. So we've got one more question from Sean Chua. For both artists, what are some characters you wish you could work more on?
More on. I think at this point, those characters I would like to work on, I would have already worked on. But at the same time, I think I'm always open to new ideas, new things. I think one thing I really wanted to do in this year, actually, before the pandemic, is really to try out different kind of covers, something that I don't draw often. So besides doing the nice female covers, I also want to try out something different. So when I say something different, example, let's say my Carnage cover, my Scream cover, those are my more unusual kind of cover that I don't usually. I want to explore a bit more on those areas, mainly because I think it's more fun for my collectors who collect all kind of cover that I do, rather than just focus on the pretty girls and the hot chicks.
Probably
Yes.
one that you should actually explore on will be Swamp Thing, if ever that they actually have the comic. Okay.
I mean, I do have my line. I don't think I'll go too far into certain things. I mean, there's one fun story I want to share. I think you've seen my Cheetah cover.
Yes.
Yes.
When DC first contacted me on Cheetah, they asked me, "Hey, are you interested to draw a Cheetah cover?" I say, "Cheetah, sure." I think I can't remember her, so I Google her and say, "Okay, yeah, she's like a animal looking, but pretty much human, but sexy and stuff." I say, I think I can do that. Little did I know that when they sent me the references, the latest design of Cheetah is look like a dude. Muscular dude with a cheetah face, so it's totally opposite of what I imagine her to be. So I have a great sense of regret. I want to pull myself out. I say I want to drop the project, but I've already said yes, and they have already solicited my cover. So I have to go with it. So eventually, I painted something that I usually don't prefer to paint, which is the furry character.
The fur.
The furry, the furry. and I find that really painful every time that at conventions people come to my table and say, "Hey, Artgerm, you know, your cheetah cover is the best you have ever done."
Wow.
And I always die a little inside whenever people say that to me.
Yeah, but it turned out awesome. I mean, I really
Oh,
like it.
yeah, my job is to do the best, even the things I don't like.
Yeah.
It's commitment there.
Yes,
Professional, right? Yeah.
All right, and for Derrick, what about you? What are like more
Mm.
characters that you wish you could work more on?
I think for me, probably Batman Who Laughs, I think would be cool. I think Harley Quinn would be cool. I mean, these are like some of my favorite characters. But like Stan, I think I have the same mindset where I also like to try like different things, you know, to make it like a different take on a character in your own style. I think that would be fun to do. Yeah. So I'm pretty open actually, I guess. I like drawing monsters and stuff, you know. Besides drawing the ladies and stuff, I like drawing like dark horror stuff as well. You know, this is one of my kind of things that I like to do.
So
You
there's
did
different
before,
sides
right?
of you, right?
I'm sorry.
You did a Venom that has a very extremely long tongue. I think-
Yeah. I think I
Yeah.
did like 2 Venom covers. I think one is with Carnage or something.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But is it 20 issue 21 and 25? I think. I can't remember the
Yeah,
issue. Yeah.
25 just launched, right? Just released
A few months ago, I think.
last week because it is a hot book because there's some interior new character inside that people
Okay.
are. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I think recently Derrick told me that he wanted to try out Spawn, right? You told
Yeah, I mean, Spawn would be cool.
Wait, challenge Kill New.
Oh man, yeah, his Spawn is already too there already.
Yeah. Let's see if it's actually online.
Let's
If
see
it's
a
actually
face off of it.
I think Kills the one that he did for the STGCC one, right? The cover.
Yeah,
That was really nice. No, I mean, I mentioned before, I really love how his characters have this really agey and stylized dynamic kind of look to it. And his style, the way he does the hatching and it's really nice. And then it's like very definitive of his artwork, which I thought was really cool. Like I think like what Stan said earlier, I also agree that, you know, an artist should have his or her own identity in the art, which is actually something very hard. You know, I feel like it's something that you say like, oh, I want to, you know, I want people to, I want myself to be, you know, identified into my art, but it's really hard to do that sometimes. And that's the struggle that I feel so, you know.
I think it's a struggle for all artists basically when they're talking about having their own unique style, because we all progress at a different, we all have our different transitions and different transitional styles. So it's hard to say that, you know, this is my style, and hard to really stay, you know, stay true to it. I mean, there are some artists that can do the same thing over and over again, but there's just some of us like, all right, I'm going to work on this medium, I'm going to work on this medium, and then the style progresses from there. And then, so that's one of the challenges, I guess. So, right. So let's move on to what we can take in a couple more before we have our live drawings. Any Derrick, any Hawkman covers coming?
Any Hawkman?
Hawkman.
Oh shit! I thought Hawkman. Hawkman. Okay. Hawkman. No, not at the moment.
Sorry about that.
No. It was me. No, yeah, but no, not at the moment. Yeah.
All right.
But
and then so we got Maha Van Dillen. Hi Stanley. Was the cat in Supergirl number 13 inspired by your cat?
Not really. I think the cat is quite specific. It's called Streaky, I believe. That's a Supergirl's cat. I like cat. I mean, that's why I have 2 cats at home. But that I don't remember seeing the cat with Supergirl, Streaky with Supergirl on the cover, at least not recent years. So I decided to make one with her holding the cats. Yeah.
All right. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so we have one from Nick.
I think it will be coming from typical fanbook. I mean, comic character. Which one do you like? It's a binary.
I like both. I mean, they are quite different. I'm not into what Harley Cam or the Punchline Cam. I mean, I'm not going to jump into any particular ship. I think that I like Harley because of the craziness of her. I like the new Punchline because the design has. I mean, George has done a great design on her, and it's really fun to draw. And visually, they also look very distinctive. Of course, with the heritage of Harley Quinn, I think it's easier to follow that. But for some people who look for something new, something different, or get tired of having Harley Quinn and Joker, I think Punchline is a good introduction.
Yeah.
Right.
And Derrick?
For me, I mean, I stand in the middle ground where I see both. Because I mean, for me, I like both designs. I like both designs. So for me, I don't really, I just like both. I mean, Punchline, the design is something fresh. I mean, like what Stan mentioned, I also feel that it's quite a iconic look to it now. Now that I compare Harley and Punchline, so Harley has its own like very eccentric kind of like crazy kind of personality, which I like because that's the character that actually got me into drawing like comics in the first place. So, but for Punchline, I felt like she's more cool kind of character, but with her costume is also like really different, from the usual comic book kind of characters. So yeah, it's a very interesting take. So visually, I like both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just put up your Harley Quinn drawing, which is actually a very distinctive and very different way. And this actually got later into a cover that you don't even need to draw; you already drew it, right?
Yeah. And this is, I think, one of I feel really like lucky lah. I mean, if you ask me, because it just started out as a fan art. I was just trying to reinterpret all these characters in my own style and my own way lah. So yeah, I'm really really happy that somehow this made it to a cover.
I'm still surprised that I haven't made it into a cover yet.
This is like my own version. So I was actually, what I'm doing with this like the three sirens was actually I was trying to re-envision them in my own world and see how like I can like kind of slightly change the design, to make it like my own version of them, kind of thing. So it's actually missing out Poison Ivy, which I because the bikes are really very tedious to paint, and I kind of gave up after. So, yeah. There's so much going on.
There is an unfinished version of this, right?
Unfinished version, as in
an unfinished version of the Poison Ivy. Is that right?
Actually, no. I did some quick doodles, but I don't even know where I put it anymore. Yeah. But, yeah, maybe one day, I don't know. Because like this art, like this one and the Harley took almost like a month to paint and get it out. Because there's so much things going on, and I'm always changing the composition because this is quite a complicated illustration. So I want to make sure like everything, the focus falls on the right place, and that's the hard part.
Sounds good. So let's see. Is there any other questions? So we can actually just. But before we actually move on, I just want to actually share something that I found. Well, because internet is actually so easy for Google, right? So I found this. That you guys actually. I think Artgerm, you actually asked your student to actually do this exercise, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a class I did with my student to teach them how to render hair. So as usual, we always try to find a victim so that we can make fun of. So this is the unfortunate one. We did that with The Rock as well beforehand. But again, always try to inject some fun in the learning. I think it's really important, especially for students these days. Their attention span is really short, so you really have to give them something that they enjoy, and keep their attention going. That's why when I teach students, I always try to understand what's the fandom they are into, what kind of game they are playing, what kind of anime or manga they are reading, so that I can include that into part of my teaching. So when, for example, when I demonstrate certain art fundamentals or certain knowledge, I will use those characters as a mean to do that. So this is just one of the examples.
I think that also shows that how fun would your class be, and it wouldn't be those too technical kind of.
I mean, it's extremely technical, to be honest, but technical can be fun as well. I always find that many times when you ask a professional artist like how to be good, and they may reply you that you have to keep drawing, you must have discipline, and those things are true. But at the same time, I also think about, I don't have discipline to play games. I play game all days, but I need discipline not to play too much game, right? The reason why I don't need discipline to play games, and if I get stuck in a game, it's easy for me to for example, go to YouTube, look for tutorial, look for tips, and then try to improve my game. I don't need people to motivate me to do that, because the game is fun. So if I can make art as fun as playing game to myself and to my students, they don't need a lot of discipline to do it, because it's just fun.
Yep, I totally agree. Yeah, so let's see if there's other questions.
Right, we're looking at the rock here.
Yeah, we are looking at the
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're sorry, but not really.
Sorry, not sorry.
The Yu-Gi-Oh one was mine. The Yu-Gi-Oh one, the bottom row.
Okay.
The Yu-Gi-Oh one. It's crazy. I have no idea how to draw that hair, so I try.
It's a winner, that one.
This one, the one next to Gao.
Yeah, the one next to the bottom one. Oh my god, it's crazy. Yeah.
The Dota one looks cool.
Yeah, the Dota one looks cool.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, moving on. Let's take some more questions from the floor. Someone actually mentioned that Artgerm, your charcoal stuff is actually out of this world. So
thank you.
Doing more of those?
Yes, currently I'm doing one. The Wonder Woman movie cover, that one will be done in charcoal first, and then digitize it, and then become digital piece. Yeah, the reason why I want to get into charcoal, not long ago actually, maybe 2-3 years ago, because I find that most of the medium that I use, for example, the ink and the Copic stuff, they are not really art gallery kind of medium. They're more like create visualization medium. So I trying to find medium that I'm comfortable with and enjoy and have not tried before. So I think charcoal was the first thing came to my mind. I remember I bought all the materials for myself, set up a corner in the studio, put the paper on the easel, and look at it for one entire month without even touching the materials. So every day I walk past, I look at the easel, I imagine myself drawing on it. That means I took one whole month to rehearse the entire drawing process, what kind of charcoal I need to use. If I make a mistake, what can I do? So I do the entire thing in my mind. Then I decided to really draw on it after a month. Yeah. So that's
really amazing stuff. So looking forward to that new Wonder Woman 84, right? The Wonder Woman cover.
Yeah.
So it'll be a Gal Gadot reference.
That's right.
Okay, that's great. Because I also realized you did a Michelle Pfeiffer cover, but doesn't look like Michelle Pfeiffer because
it's not supposed to look like her. It's supposed to get inspired by her, but the comics I won't have the right for the face of the celebrity for the comics. So they asked us not to make it look exactly like Michelle Pfeiffer. So I think it's fine. Yeah.
There's some other question like well, this is a weird one, but probably if you want to entertain. Can you briefly introduce yourself in Cantonese?
Why do you do that？大家好，我叫Artgerm，好高興你係參加呢個 online 嘅視頻。
Okay, cool. Thanks. Arjun, what's your favorite manhwa?
Favorite manhwa manhwa as in Chinese.
I guess.
If Chinese manhwa, I think I used to read Storm Rider, 風雲天下, until the end. So
you have a full collection?
Yeah, I read them until the end, until it ends. So many decades of commitment to that.
Yeah. It actually takes a lot of commitment. For me, the series ended during the first arc when one of them actually fall from the cliff. That's the ending for me. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, eventually I find that it was just a habit to buy that every 2 weeks, just
Sometimes
to keep things going. Yeah, it's not like that I am super into it, but just whole habit is hard to shake.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next.
HK, I also send you a message on private chat.
Okay.
All right. There is a question for Derrick though. It's from Jeremiah Boone. When will we get an official compilation art book from you?
Okay.
Well.
Soon. I mean, on and off, I've been doing some like my own IP stuff, but it's like always I hit the 70% mark, and then suddenly I'm not really happy with the content, so I'm always switching things up lah. But I think I might do a sketchbook probably next year, for some of the cons lah. I think it's about time also. Yeah, so probably I'll just compile some of my artworks and then probably do a simple sketchbook or some sort. Yeah, so okay, I will.
By the way, Alan Kwa say hi. Alan Kwa say hi.
Hey, hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Alan. So, Alan, we'll be actually taking a very short break, probably just a quick one, and we'll come back in.
And we'll start drawing after that. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So we can draw and answer that question at the same time. No problem.
Yes. Okay. So we'll be back.
We'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Stay tuned.
5 minutes. Bye.
See ya.
Just Derrick, just a quick one while we are waiting for Arjun.
Sure.
There are more characters that's actually coming in. Actually, it has more, so you might need to actually choose. But just put in the request in the chat. This is actually in sequence, so if you don't like the first one, you probably need to move on to the second one. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
so
okay.
We're live.
Yeah, we are actually live. And,
okay.
And Stan is back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So Derrick, just take a look at that. Just decide which one, then we can actually just. So for those that is actually tuning in, just to let you know, based on the latest list that I'm actually getting, it's actually all slots are actually already being taken. In fact, some of you may not actually make it to the slot. Those that actually make it, we just do a compilation. Just let me know, and I'll just publish it into the main chat.
And for those who are outside Malaysia and Singapore, me and Derrick and actually Kendrick and Kat will be doing another live show in July, Comic Online. So that one we will open up commission for the international audience. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
what are we
So what
expecting
shall
for
we
this
do
segment?
now?
I will change my camera so that
Okay.
you can
Yeah,
see me
I think
join.
I'll share my screen as well. Hang on.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I think I will just draw a few commission
others.
requests. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll just do a live demo painting of an earlier sketch that I did for
Okay.
Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So in that case, I think that considering that one is actually on the share screen, and so I will actually do the inter switch as you guys actually have some progress.
Okay. Yeah.
And Stan, whenever that you're ready, you want me to actually focus, and if you want
Yeah.
something, yeah, just like.
Up to you. Derrick one is more interesting. Mine is boring. Yeah.
Hey, don't let that
It's equally interesting. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So we're seeing one in traditional and one in digital. Am I correct?
Yep.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we've got the best of both worlds. For fans that are just tuning in, thank you. We have Stanley, Artgerm and Derrick live with us right now for SMVFF2020. Thanks for tuning in. And right now we'll be looking towards a live demo. Derrick will be doing a digital version, and Artgerm will be doing a traditional version. So best of both worlds happening live to you on your screens. And wow, and we've got from Anna, yay, I don't think I've ever seen Derrick draw live, so nice. So we've got fans really keen on looking at what's going on. And so right now we're looking at Artgerm. And can you tell us a little bit of what we'll be expecting?
Yeah, I'm be drawing a Spider-Gwen. That's one of the requests, commission requests. So just draw her. I try to draw
Alright.
those characters I can remember that I don't need to look at references.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Meanwhile, is there anything that you'd like to share about SMVFF while they're drawing out live, Hancock? Like the other activities happening right now as well?
If you're actually asking what it is, I think my mind has been blank. I'm just thinking about what will be coming out next with actually Ario
Okay.
at 5 p.m. And he was requesting us. I mean, he was requesting that I join him to actually do a duet in that session. So let's see.
Do it.
I'm looking
I think all
forward to
this
that
joke
one.
started because I posted a J Chow picture of Kale Neo as an
Mhm.
announcement in my own community's group, the My Comics community, and well, this is getting out of proportion right now. So I'm not sure how this will end.
So I think you've got all the comicers, the singing comicers all riled up, ready for karaoke. I believe it is the weekend, and the pandemic has really caught us in a pretty crazy mood. So a lot of singing and drinks would sound pretty good right now.
Yeah,
So
I agree that I should actually start a form to actually capture what kind of karaoke song so that I can actually get it prepared for Kale to sing.
For real, though.
right.
Yes.
At the same time for SMVFF, we've got the virtual
It should be
vendors
smooth,
going on.
by the way.
So tune in over to Play Exhibition. Do tune in to the Singapore Comic Con. Tune in to the Malaysia Comics Community, Singapore Comic Community, sorry, and also to the Malaysia Comics Community. We've got the virtual vendors going on where we've got several where people are selling out their businesses. I believe we've got Calibax Comics who had a live auction or something, and a lot of things going on. So while you're watching this, open up another tab, join in into the virtual vendors. And for fans that are following this stream, drop in your questions. We'll probably take in some questions along the way. Try not to disturb them. We do have some requests saying for concert. So I'm not sure, Derrick and Stan, how are you gonna do this? Are you gonna sing and draw, or
The next one.
the next one?
Probably the next one.
All right, so next one we'll probably have a bit of like a comicus challenge, maybe. Say we'll have them to sing and draw and see who finishes the best or whatever. And then, right, one of our fans is really excited, Spider Gwen, and then
Probably I'm suspecting that it's his commission. Let me just check on the list.
he's been obsessed with Spider-Man. He's one of the Spider-Gwen collectors, right?
Yes,
Yep.
I think everyone knows that. I think
Everyone knows that. Both
from
sides
this
of
part of
community
the
know.
world till the American scene, I think he's already been known for that.
Right. And then, well, I'm not sure if you're able to take this. Derrick, how was it drawing Clown Hunter for Joker War #1 and Batman number 99?
Joker Warzone #1 and also Batman 99.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think it's really exciting for me because
Mhm.
I mean it's a new character and I want to try and see if I can make him as badass as possible. You know,
Right.
but there is some pressure though. So yeah, so I mean I really, you know, I saw the design. I thought it was really something that's very different, you know, and I like all the leather render, you know, the material for like leather or shiny stuff, and I like to play with those stuff. So, and he kind of like looks like a Mars Rider in a way. Yeah, I thought, you know, it's really awesome.
Yeah, it looks like a Mask Rider. Now that you
Yeah.
actually mentioned it, looks like a Mask Rider. But
So I thought
I
it was
think
really
the
cool.
description of him is also that he's also a little bit of a Casey Jones.
Oh yeah,
From
yeah.
the
Mm,
he do all these makeshift weaponry. So yeah,
Yep.
it's something that's actually exciting to see how it actually turns out on page.
Yeah. Yeah, I always like to draw characters with like mask or you know of some sort lah. So I was kind of excited to work on this, and that's also one of the reasons why I like Batman Who Laughs, because he has this really badass like you know
Jacket.
jacket. Yeah, the
Mhm.
jacket and the face is like half covered with that metal spiky thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I always thought like, wow, that's like, to me that was really awesome, and probably that's why I like Ghost Rider as well.
Yeah, because of the jacket and also the chain, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. For Derrick, what are fans expecting to see for your live demo right now?
So I'm actually drawing like a portrait or a 3/4 view of the metal Batman, right?
Okay.
Heavy was metal Batman, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So just trying my
We'll see
best.
how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. I hope I can
Right.
finish.
So a question from the fan David Sundra for Artgerm. How did you grow that goatee so well? So it's a very, very serious question. And so how do we go with this?
I have no idea. I guess it's part of my genes. That I know most Asian can grow beard or goatee. So I guess I'm fortunate that my parents passed down the genes that I can.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's all I can say. I didn't intend to, but
Yes.
yeah, I thought I
Right.
just try to be cool at least. Yeah.
Well, I hope that inspires you, David. With David's, it's all about having good genes. It's all about, again, artist perseverance. So don't give up on your goatee as well. And let's see on. So with tuning in live, we've got Artgerm, we've got Derrick. They're doing some lovely live demos, working on their commissions. We've got Metal Batman and as well Spider Gwen. And let's see if for fans out there, any other questions that you're burning and dying inside to ask, just drop it inside comments. We're live on Facebook and we're also live on YouTube. Right, we've got one from Varun Singh. Either one of you can take it. What would you suggest beginners to use as a reference for dynamic poses and to learn clothing? I think both of you are talking a lot of your passion towards dynamic poses and influences. So, what would be your suggestion?
Derrick, you can answer.
I think oh, okay. So I think for me, anime seems to be quite a good reference for dynamic poses. I mean,
Okay.
like I'm not. I mean, or generally looking at art that has more dynamism inside. I mean, like not even for poses, but probably for composition as well.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that will affect the whole picture as a whole, make it more action packed or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that we come to idea of actions. I think it's important to know the theory of it. Like when you pull off an actions,
Mm-hmm.
what happened to your body, what changes, which part of your muscle deform, and in order to execute that particular actions.
Right.
This may sound a bit more technical, but I try to
Yeah.
explain that. Usually, when it comes to action, I can divide it into 4 different stages. The first
Okay.
stage is called setup. Setup. Second is called execution. The third is called impact, and the last one is called follow through. So when you pull a punch, you pull back your fist. That's a setup. Then you start moving your fist forward. That is called execution. And
Right.
then after that, you will be hitting the person, and the person receive your impact. That's the impact point. And then after that, you move your body forward to ease the motion. That is called follow through. So when we think about an action pose, even a dynamic action pose, we think about these 4 stages. And as artists, you have to find one particular frame to depict the entire sequence of your choice. Yeah.
Right. And that's for dynamic poses. I think effectively, I mean, there's a lot of references when you're talking about dynamic poses. There's a lot of influences for both of you. When you're doing your referencing, are you more of the traditional sort, where you're looking out into actual models or looking into magazines and stuff like that, or are you more of the the modern artist where it's just everything, all your references you can get online and stuff like that?
Derrick?
Okay. Oh, so for me, I think it's everything online nowadays. I think for like, oh yeah, just to add on to the reference part, like I think it's also I think watching movies, like if I some superhero movies or some fight scenes in the movie, I will try to watch it and see like why is the shot or why is that scene so well done. And then
Right.
I'll try to incorporate what I've seen or learned from that and try to visualize it as a still image, because like
Right.
in a movie there's like a lot of cuts, a lot of scenes that you can piece together to form one shot,
Right.
or one whole fighting sequence. But in the illustration, there's only like you only have one frame, and that's it. Yeah. So I think the idea is how to squeeze all the details and all the poses and all the things together in one frame, and then still make it like look like it's there's a scene going on. So yeah, that's all the little things that I would consider when I'm drawing.
Right. So it's getting inspiration beyond just looking at visuals, but actually looking at
Doesn't it
moving
actually take away
visuals.
the joy of watching movies because you're like, oh, it's already set in your professional mind that you will do that. Like when you watch a movie, you must capture something. Or
I think like when you watch it, sometimes it just certain aspect of the scene just kind of called out to you, and then you just take mental notes of it. So like the next time when you do something similar, you can remember these details. Like, oh yeah, remember I saw that scene in that movie. So hey, it kind of feels like this. How can I incorporate certain aspect of that into this illustration and then make it work? Make it unique, make it something that is different. That's what I feel. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome.
that's a quick question. When is your next opening for signing? For both of you, I guess.
Depends on where you come from. If you're from the US, then yeah, you can always submit your books to artgermcollectibles.com for signing. But do bear in mind that the shipment and back and forth from the US back to Singapore is really, really long. So it may take a while. Locally, I have no idea yet. I don't know how can we do signing locally. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I don't mind. No, it's just a web. I mean, usually we can just drop by, maybe organize some kind of signing event with the local comic shops to
Right.
do it. But now I don't think we can, so I have no
Yeah.
idea how to do that for now. Yeah.
Okay. There's a question for Artgerm by Tegan. One. Was Punchline your own design? And
No.
question. Oh, okay. Straight no there.
I think that's actually Jorge Jimenez.
Yeah. So I don't think that I've ever really designed any characters. Usually the character design is already done, and the client just send me the references, and I just make the best interpretation of it.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. And a question for both. Any comic character would you like to redesign?
Since I like Supergirl so much, I don't mind designing a version of Supergirl
Right.
myself.
Yeah, hear that, DC. I think that's something.
Mhm.
And for Derrick, any comic character you like to redesign?
Well, probably. Let me think. I think Batgirl would be cool to redesign.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Is she currently with that very weird mask that is like a hairband?
Yeah, I think so.
On-
Is that the current design? I think that's the one.
Yeah,
That's
it looks too impractical and just weird. I don't know.
I thought it was kind of cool though. because you know, like the bat signal has this like a strap. There's like a what you call it, like a strap on the shoulders. And I thought that the incorporation of the whole bat logo was kind of cool though. Yeah.
There's a question that coming from Anna though. Will we see a new collaboration art project in the future, like in the past? Like imaginary friend IFS Studio did the art books together. Yeah,
We did talk about that. In fact, it's sad to mention it again. We're supposed to go to Japan for convention together,
yeah.
like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, man.
There'll be 10 of us, 10 artists or imaginary friends to go there. It's supposed to do some kind of collaboration over there, some live drawing together. But didn't happen. But we'll look for other opportunity to do it.
so that means that it's something that's actually in plan. You just wait for the matter of time.
Yeah, wait for the opening, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope the world gets normal again.
Yeah, I was so looking forward to that trip because it's like, you know, the whole gang is going and so exciting. But then, but then the virus
It's
happened.
okay.
It's okay. So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's life.
All right. Another question here from David Sindra. How much for Derrick actually? How much time would you spend on coloring a piece, and when would you know when it's finished?
well, I think this one, if it's a personal piece, I think I will segregate this between personal and commercial. Because like commercial, there's always a deadline. So like when the deadline is up, you have to stop somehow. You have to, you know, make it work at that point in time. But for like personal pieces, I tend to take my time. You know, I want it to look like how I envision it, you know, in terms of quality and stuff. And I don't, and that's where I would, you know, sometimes I would just leave it and let it rest for like a few days, and I come back again and start working on it and see if there's anything that I want to change. So like for commercial work is always based on deadline, but if I can finish it faster, you know, to what I want, that would be great. So I guess it's probably like 3 days to a week for a cover, depending on how complex it is.
Right.
So if that's the average timeline for that, yeah. So if it has more characters or more complicated like scenarios, then it will definitely take like, you know, really long. Like pieces like the Harley Quinn, those were actually started out as like personal works. So a lot of time is thrown into it to actually make the whole the whole composition and the whole detail or whatever. I'm grinding it every day, stopping and repainting stuff that doesn't work. So that took a month. So it's always finding that balance for this too. So like sometimes I have to tell myself, stop it, it's enough, don't touch it anymore, because the artwork is, you always come back and you always find things to change.
To fix. Oh yeah.
So I think that's the thing about being an artist. You always feel like you want to do better, you want to do this doesn't work anymore, let's change it. But you have to give yourself a break sometimes and say, okay, I think it serves its purpose, for what it is. Then do it the best. You have already done the best that you can, then call it done.
Right. Thanks, Derrick. And I hope that answers your question. I forgot who asked just now. Sorry. David. Sorry, David Sundra. Right. Okay, we've got a shout out from
going out. There was a question from Casey. It was actually this is actually when we actually showed the Rock and Samuel L. Jackson hairstyle, and he mentioned that appreciate your approach to teaching art, Artgerm.
Right.
What course should I actually take up the class you teach?
My class is not an online class, so you have to come to Singapore and spend a year with us, learning together face to face. So if you want more details, feel free to visit 3dsense.net. Yes, 3dsense.net.
Let me just type it into a comment section as well.
Yeah, 3dsense.net. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so. There you go. And then let's see more. There's lots more. Oh, there's one from sorry, Kuro Akuma. Are you both excited about the new Spider-Man game coming out for PlayStation? And which of the Spider-Mans in the Spider-Verse are you two most looking forward to?
And you take the question first, or?
Sure. Miles Morales is cool, but my personal favorite Spider-Man character is Spider-Gwen. Actually, I really like how Spider-Gwen look like in the Spider-Verse, the movie. So I hope that I can see something like that in the game. So I'm not sure if she's going to happen, but I think Miles Morales is a good compromise.
Okay, and for you, Derrick?
Yeah, for me, I think Miles Morales, the Spider-Man is really like, I think I watched Spider-Verse and I really like the character, and I like how the version of the suit is really like black and red. I think it really stands out to me. Yeah, but the one that I'm really looking forward to, like the Spider-Verse 2, right? They announced it was the Japanese Spider-Man.
Yes.
So that's the one actually I'm like most excited now, because I mean I love the old school 80s robot thingy. So I hope they include all the Peladon robot inside, the one, the black, yellow, red robot.
Do you watch that series? I mean, it looks quite silly though.
I mean, because I like retro and vintage stuff.
He collect robots toys. Yeah.
So I mean, it's really campy, it's funny, and I think it's unintentional, right? I think back then it's for kids anyway. So I think it's kind of funny to see how they would incorporate the character into the show. That will be a nice break away from the the norm of all the superhero characters. Yeah.
Mm.
All right, awesome. Okay, so we've got another question over from Tongwei Long Gerald. Any plans for Stanley to collaborate with other statue companies like XM, Prime One? And I know you have one collaboration with one going on.
No, neither XM or Prima. I mean, I worked with XM when they first starting out. I did 5 statue with them. After that, I moved back to Sideshow, and now I moved with Connecticut. So I'm pretty happy for now. I did not have any intention to work with Priman. I mean, Priman did a Supergirl with the cat, the image, but that was done without my knowledge. So I don't count that as a collaboration. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. This is an interesting
topic, right? Sorry, Billy.
Yeah.
Just
no worries.
interject. I think for some of the DC collectibles, I think that the market is actually responding in various forms of response on some of the statue that has been made. What do you think of those? I mean, there's some misinterpretation of your character using the design.
Yeah, I mean, different company that I work with, the collaboration level is very different. For example, when I work on the Cover Girl series for DC collectibles, they asked me to design the pose of the character, create artwork with that, and then that's it. That is the end of my collaboration. I didn't get involved with the modeling, the sculpting part, the production part of it. So the next time I see that statue, is already done. But sometimes, so when they, if they did not interpret the artwork as a true photo as I want it to be, there's nothing really much I can do, unfortunately. Yeah, that's why I've been looking for collaboration with different statue company that I can get a lot more hands-on with them. That's why I'm working with Connecticut now, which I have 100% total creative control. Yeah.
Okay.
This could be for both of you. Myron, just ask a question. Anything on the work table that can allow us to actually have a sneak peek?
Let's see if I can have. Not really at this point.
I mean the in the morning session, Adam actually shared some of his childhood drawings.
Oh, childhood drawings. I need to dig deeper into those.
All right, so it looks like we'll have to stay tuned to your social media, and hopefully we might be able to see some personal intimates with Artgerm and Derrick. Maybe we might be able to see a debut of baby childhood drawings or childhood photos or stuff.
I did post quite a few on my childhood, my teenage drawings, and I redraw them. So there's a before after shot. So you can, when you go to Google, you just Google Artgerm before and after, you can see quite a few of my drawings. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
that.
awesome.
Bring it onto the screen.
Yes.
So you remember that there's a sketchbook that we had.
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
We brought, but I don't know where is it now. We had like a few. We all brought like our old sketchbooks from like our teenage years.
Okay.
We were sharing it last time in the studio, and some of them was really embarrassing, but yeah. But it was fun though.
Shame. Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know where it went now. So yeah, somewhere.
It's some in the dark ages right now.
Yeah, it is somewhere.
Yeah, probably someone. Yeah, I just found it. Yeah, let's just click on some of it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this is not mine. Yeah.
No.
No, those are not mine. Let me show you.
Oh, these are your student work, right?
My students. After you can see
the level up.
You see the third one and the fourth one. You see the joy. Oh, you just Google joy again. Joy again, Artgerm.
Artgerm joy again.
Artgerm joy again. Yeah.
Nope.
Right. Meanwhile, while we're waiting out for that, if you're just tuning in live, we're having a live demo, drawing from Derrick and from Artgerm, where they're drawing out their commissions. And if you have any more questions, drop it into the live comment section. We're live on Play Exhibition on Facebook and also on YouTube. So just drop in all your comments that's, you've been dying to ask. Like, come on. It's not easy to get these guys with us live for the Comic-Con. So this is your chance to drop in your questions. And if you are taking a photo, screenshot, whatsoever, tag us on hashtag SMVFF2020. Right, we've got one here from Yufan. Will Artgerm draw League of Legends or Dota 2 characters in the future? Haven't seen them for a while.
Yeah, not so sure about that. I got out of the game
Right.
already. Same for League of Legends. I didn't even play League of Legends. So I have no idea when will be my next artwork for Dota.
Right.
But we
Speaking
somehow we started playing again during this pandemic. We started the game, so you may have a chance to see us draw something. Yeah.
So when you have time, I mean, like as artists with deadlines, is there ever time to play games?
Yeah, nowadays it's really sad. In the past, when you're young, you have all the time, but you have no money to buy games. Now you have the money, but you don't have time to play games. It's really, really sad, huh?
Artist dilemma.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like a farmer that's want to actually be rich and move out of the farm, but a rich man will actually buy a farm so that they can retire at the farm. So
the problem is I really enjoy drawing, so it's hard for me to stop.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same for you as well, Hancock. I mean, like, do you ever have the time to read all your comics with all the amount of?
For the sake of the community, yes, I try to read some of it. Yeah, that's no. Yeah, of course, right? Because there's so many. So the thing is, when you're young, you cannot actually afford to actually get some of these, and now I'll be able to actually get it, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, with no one telling you, no, you can't read comics.
No. I at the moment, I don't think that is a problem. I'll say that I actually use it. I'm reading it so that the community knows what's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
No,
That's
for
nice.
the sake of the community.
Good excuse. Yeah.
Yeah, good excuse. That's what I've been telling my wife.
Mm.
Right. Myron, maybe a live stream of Artgerm and Derrick playing games. Will that ever be an option for you guys?
We are so new in our game. I don't think we should show up. I mean, it hurts our brand quite a bit if we do that.
Okay.
I'm just a casual gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So there's one from Calvin. So is for Artgerm. There is a book called Caliber First Canon of Justice. I read somewhere you did the coloring or interior for this book.
Yeah, that's right. This is a studio project that we did many years ago. I did many of the covers for them, and my studio did the interiors. Yeah.
All right. So I hope that answers your question, Calvin.
Mm.
Right. So what are we looking at now for our new fans that have just tuned in? So what are we looking at right now? For Derrick, what are you drawing?
Yeah, I'm drawing the metal Batman.
Okay.
Still working on it.
Still working on it.
Yeah, still working on it. I think I don't think I can finish it, but I'll try to somewhat paint it as much as possible.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You can actually always follow through your Instagram and see the full thing.
Yeah, probably like finish it and then post it up online.
Oh, awesome.
Do you
You
guys actually use it for something, or just for the sake of the community that you're doing this live demo?
Oh, sorry, you mean this piece?
Yeah, this.
Oh yeah. I'm just doing it for like this live demo law.
Oh, thank you. This is actually told me that this is actually especially for the Smurf 2020.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Let's look at Artgerm right now. He's on to his feet. He's almost finishing his second piece, which is actually quite impressive. Like actually put in so much of I mean, the first one you have the spider webs and so off, and this I believe that you'll be adding some capes. Yeah, which is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, usually this kind of sketch I do at conventions. It takes usually about 15 minutes for one. My goal is always to get as many people to buy something from me as possible. So sometimes offer so-called relatively cheaper options so that more people can get a piece from me.
I really appreciate that kind gesture. I think those that actually got into the commission is really, I mean, these are some real good stuff that we're looking at.
Right.
Yeah, someone by the name of Greg just dropped a question. Love your DC portfolio. I would like to see your take on Lobo. Any chance that you might draw a female Lobo, which is Crush, I believe, the daughter of Lobo?
Lobo. Yeah, possible. Yeah, if they ask me to do it, I may say yes. I think Derrick will do a better job than me. I can, yeah. But I will.
So he just, I mean, Artgerm just suddenly passed the baton to
Oh
Derrick.
no, it just stood over like, oh, Derrick, you do this, bro.
Nobody does it like Artgerm, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Artgerm do it first before.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on you now, Derrick.
Oh man.
Yeah. I probably will make Lobo really hot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. He did actually got into a female body before.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Simon Beasley?
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, for me, Lobo's definitely. I mean, the definitive artist for Lobo is Simon Beasley, and he. Yeah. There is another question that's coming from Tom Wei. Any plans to collaborate with Dark Horse, like the Aliens and Predators series, or maybe even a cover? Yeah, I don't think that you guys did any Dark Horse covers before, right? Or at least very minimal.
Dark Horse? No, we have not done any Dark Horse stuff. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, that will be. Any other questions that's coming in?
At the
Looks
moment,
like
no.
everyone just mesmerized with your drawing.
Yeah, everyone's just enjoying, the live. It's not easy to get live demos, basically. And usually at Comic Cons, you would have to be rushed. It's like, okay, come back 15 minutes later. But this is an exclusive look.
Yeah.
Yeah, Myron just mentioned Derrick will crush it.
I try.
There's a lot of conviction and convincing I try there, Derrick.
Cause pressure, stress.
He's just being humble,
Yeah.
It's like the time I was doing the Supergirl run, right? And I was like looking at Stan's Supergirl. And then and it was quite kind of pressurizing. Yeah.
But good thing that at least Stan is your friend, so it's close to you.
Yeah, so I always try to ask him for advice, like, hey, how am I, is this okay, or try to ask him for feedback and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to have us.
It's really fun to see that my buddy get to work on the same project as me as a continuation of my run. It's amazing. Yeah.
I think it's really like cool to see that. I've really enjoyed this this kind of things where we are all working on something together in a way. Yeah.
Stan, could you actually move the Power Girl back into screen? I think people might be interested to see the finished product.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Right. So these are the two pieces that Stan's been working on.
So there are more questions. Yeah. So Wilson just asked that from the way that you draw, just picking up the pen, appears that you draw with your mind's eye, knowing exactly the end result. Is that the case, or do you have some improvisation?
If you talk about a side profile shot like this, I think I'm quite used to just draw without the base sketch to begin with. Something that I've been training quite many years in order to get this kind of level. But of course, we'll talk about the full color commission, the more different angle commissions. Then I do need to plan out a little bit more rather than just go with it. I mean, after all, I'm not Master Kim Jong-gi, so I don't think I can try. But I try. I mean, again, I try to find process that I can do it fast. Fast, that means that I can charge less for my customers. So, so this is one of the options that I develop, mainly for conventions.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And we are 10 minutes in before we actually need to end the show. So yeah, Billy, you want to actually just go through the list and see if there's any other questions?
There are actually. There's one from wait, hang on. A lot of them are still asking if there is commissions. I'm so sorry, we're closed.
Have been closed. So unfortunately, that anyone that actually missed out, I mean, Artgerm slot has been closed like maybe 5 minutes into the show. So yeah. Unfortunately, it's that popular and people are just too fast and waiting for it.
Well, we did have one.
And Derrick's is also closed, unfortunately. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for the interest, though. I think we'll be having another con, like what Stan has mentioned, in July. So there'll be more slots available then.
I think stay tuned to their social media.
This show is only for Singaporean and Malaysia for the commission side. So.
Right. From Ngang Boon Kiat again. Derrick, any plans in doing any mecha art?
Mecha art?
Yeah.
Separation of how you into a mecha.
The thing about mecha is, I think I'm not really good at it. I mean, it's like it's really time consuming to paint, actually. Yeah, and I think mecha, I've only done some for like project work, but it's not. I think it's not as nice as I would want it to be, because I need to improve on it more. I mean, in short, yeah, yeah. So probably not at the moment. Yeah, but I'm sure along the line, if it's something that I'm interested in, I will probably do it. Yeah.
Right, we've got a fans from Anna saying, so nice to watch the live drawings. Ivan, cool artwork from Artgerm and Derrick. And then next on, who have we got here? Any more questions? Oh, there's one from Emil. From Ariel.
Ariel actually mentioned that, yes, please continue the live, but you're up next. So get ready, Ariel.
Yes. No wonder he's saying take as much time as you want. Please do not try to get out of this, Ariel. I'm grilling you next.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. We've got one from Emil, I think, amongst last questions. So far, has there been any character that you like but have had not the opportunity to do a cover for?
Not really.
Not really.
Right. I mean, you have no regrets.
Yeah. Emil is my student. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So maybe you can ask Sensei in a much more personal level there. So, right. And going on, we have Lim Heng Derrick. Love the death metal Batman you're painting rock on.
Oh, thank you.
And then we have from Reliability Zero to both Artgerm and Derrick, what are some study tips for beginner artists aspiring to be freelance illustrators?
No, I always tell my student that it sounds good to be a freelance artist because you can do whatever you want. You can be at home in a comfort surrounding. But if you don't have a project, you are not freelancing. You are just free. So the question is really come back to how do you get jobs? Where can you get project from? I think that one, especially when you are independent artist, your social media game need to be really strong because that's where people contact you and commission you. So continue to make good product, which is your artwork. At the same time, continue to grow your social media, interact with your fans, and let them know more about you. That will really help in your when you transit into a independent kind of artist.
Right. And it's all about consistency. Really, really, making sure that you have the discipline for it as well as a freelance illustrator. And again,
Yeah,
I think we talked about this just now, but if you're going to get out there, you have to have a lot of perseverance. You have to, really know your style and all that kind of stuff.
that's right. Mm.
Right. So we've got
Artgerm just share his screen. He's actually
all
doing some
right.
digital. So
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
mean, just put in some context that I'm sharing what he's drawing right now as well.
Okay. So from
And
traditional to
there
digital.
is a technical question for you guys. Pro tips, I guess. What kind of software and hardware are you guys using?
I'm using iMac soft iMac Pro. My software is Photoshop and Corel Painter. That's it. Mm.
Wow.
For
It's
me,
not about.
oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm just saying. I just about to add on that it's not some sophisticated software. It's just skill
Uh-huh.
mostly.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. But for me, I think I just use Photoshop mainly, and then Clip Studio Paint. I think that's a
Right.
really good software for drawing lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think
that's
a
why.
lot of comic artists always usually end up with Clip Studio Paint,
Mm.
get in onto the pixels, and
Yeah,
then right,
and it's
go on there.
actually very affordable. So I think that's
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, very cheap. Mm.
Just like Photoshop, there's like a subscription base, so it's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's not too economic in the sense.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We've got one question from Shiv Ajoshi. Artgerm, how do you do your initial pencil sketches, and what's your approach while doing that sketch? I think I'll break it down with that question first.
There's different way of doing it digitally and traditionally. Traditionally is a bit more challenging because, again, there's no undo button, so you have to rely a lot more on careful placement of a sketch. But both will share the same method in the sense that I always visualize the final look of the image, how I want it to be. That means I have a model in my head, and the model will pose for me. I have a hot dude model as a hot chick model, depends on the type of character that I draw. And then
Mhm.
in my head, I'll spin that character around, ask the model in my head to pose for me. And then once I like the pose, I will change the camera setting. I'll become a photographer and find the right angle to capture that pose. That's all done in my head. Mm.
Right.
It's good to be in your head. You have all the hot models.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
If only there could be a way that could be projected out, and then everyone's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
let's have a screen share of
technology to be more
Artgerm's."
mature.
Yeah.
Let's extract
Right. I think we can be taking in our final question before we close this off. Last question from Calvin. Do you own any pieces of original art? Does it need to be comic or related?
I do. But I didn't even buy. Master Kim gave me a sketch of his, so that
Wow.
was my valued
Wow.
possessions. Yeah. Other
Right.
than that,
And,
no, I don't.
and Derrick, any original art are you collecting at the moment?
Yeah, I mean I don't really collect original art, but there's a few that I bought. I think one of them that is like really awesome was the Godzilla designer. I was in
Oh,
the
right.
Brave and Bold in Japan. Yeah, so I actually got his last slot for his commission. So yeah, he drew it for me, and it was like for me, yeah, it means a lot because like I always watched Godzilla when I was a kid. So yeah, those are that one is like particularly one of my favorites. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
We've got Santa Fong in the house. He's a
Oh, you.
Hi.
household
Hello.
name in Malaysia. So he said, always enjoy to see you guys drawing. And I would love to see Santa Fong go live as well. It would be really
Yeah.
nice to have some form
Yeah.
of
I mean,
collaboration as
on
well.
the side note, I did invite him, but I think his schedule is not permitting. So let's
Oh,
wait for the next one.
all right. So
That's
I
Santa.
think,
Just make sure that you come on next time.
yes. So Santa Fong, please shout out from the comics community. Get on online. Right. I think we are due to wrap up soon. So, Hancock, anything
Yep.
that you want to say?
I don't think so. Let's just thank Artgerm as well as Derrick for your valuable time. It has been 2 hours.
Yes. Awesome.
And really appreciate that you actually take the time and the patience to actually answer all of our questions. Hopefully that
Yes.
none of those are too silly.
No, never.
And hope that you guys are really enjoying it. And I'm looking forward to actually meet you guys again in person. I don't think that I met Arjun before, but I met Derrick once.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking forward to see both of
when
you.
the border opens, when we can actually start visiting each other, either that we go to Singapore or you guys just come up to Malaysia. We will actually prepare something for you guys.
Oh,
All
man.
right.
Nice. Thank
Don't
you.
don't
Thanks
worry, we
for-
won't have to run.
Yeah, durian is a must, but probably not for
No,
Stan, though.
no,
Yes, Stan can actually we can send Stan to eat something else while we go
Yes.
for our
Yeah.
durian.
Right.
Anyway, thanks for having us, and thanks
worries.
to everyone
think-
for joining the stream. Appreciate it, and I'm glad to answer the questions that you guys.
Thank
I
you.
hope it brings a little bit like a more reveal a little bit more about ourselves. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so.
Really enjoy the 2 hours together. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's been
Thank you
great.
so much.
So take care, and we'll see you on again
The
on
next show.
Next show.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.